Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, and also sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Cindy Durance with Right at Home, In-Home Care and Assistance, Susanna Austin with Canine Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:32 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome to episode 62 of the Community Difference Plano podcast, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances, helping you to properly protect your income. Let's get right to it today. We have a stellar show lined up. It's our final week, week 4 of our topic for April, how to turn customers and partners into raving fans, building loyalty that drives referrals and long-term success. So a couple of lasts for today before I introduce our co-host and our guest. Number one, it is our last week of this topic. We have a good topic, which I'll tease at the end of the show coming up for May, but it is the last week of this topic. So it's going to be a really good show. I'm excited about it. And then another last, on a little more serious note, this is actually going to be my last show hosting. And I want to say moving on. That sounds weird. I'm still, friends with everybody from The Difference and Lyndon, and been a part of, I think we counted 5 different podcasts over the last 5 years, but doing some things that will allow me to focus even more intently on my business and taking some of the topics that we have had for the last year, 2 years, and really putting them into practice. And so you're going to be in good hands here, I promise you, as our week 1 co-host, Jax Kreider, will now be shifting into the host seat. And I know she's very excited for that as we continue to bring great content, great connections with the community, great topics moving forward throughout the rest of 2025 and beyond. So it's been a pleasure to be with you. Really the difference in general for 5 years, almost 5 years, but specifically with this show here going on a little bit over really close to a year and a half almost at this point. So enough of that, enough about me. Let's jump into our show today. Let's bring in our first co-host. She once got passed in a half marathon by a guy who was juggling. How does that happen? But Suzanna Austin isn't one to drop the ball when it comes to connection. As the powerhouse behind Canine Resorts, she turns conversations into community and laughs into loyalty, making her the perfect voice for today's chat on turning customers and partners into loyal raving fans. If anyone can build a following that sticks, fur and all, it's Suzanna. Suzanna, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry that you got, that was probably disheartening to be passed by someone juggling.
It was. I was struggling to run that race to begin with, and then to watch him just juggle by was...
It's kind of arrogant on his part, but I think I would just stopped and gone home at that point, if I'm being honest with you. So good for you for continuing the race. That's good.
Gotta get the hardware.
What are you looking forward to today?
As always, the insight of other business owners. It's always a chance to learn and take what you know and share, and then, get a bunch of knowledge back.
Well, that's good. That's our goal for today. We'll see if we can deliver that. Let's bring in your partner today. She can walk on her hands, had a baby in a hospital parking lot, and channels Lucille Ball level charm. Audra Hooper is proof that resilience, humor, and heart are the secret sauce to building raving fans. As the powerhouse behind Audra Hooper Integrated Health, she knows loyalty isn't just earned, it's inspired. Get ready to flip your mindset and land on success, even if it's upside down. Audra, good morning.
Good morning.
I forgot about your baby in the parking lot. You told me that.
How could you forget that?
Yeah, I know you didn't forget it. So just couldn't make it another 20 or 30 feet. It was ready to go.
It
was happening. Yep. Okay, well,
right there in the car.
I mean, if you're going to have a baby in a parking lot, that's the right one to do it in, I guess. So.
Yeah, I had about 11 people come out and witness and help me. So,
that's fantastic.
Who doesn't want that in that moment?
Really? What are you looking forward to today?
I am looking forward to exploring this topic with everybody else and learning to apply and communicate better. I have made it a habit to not just consume information, books, podcasts, and ideas, but then go take action and apply it.
What a novel concept. That should be the topic just on another show. I think we could all benefit from that. Well, we're excited to see how that comes into fruition over the next week or so. Let's bring in our first guest. She may trip over thin air, but when it comes to connecting with pets, Linda Ghaffari is pure magic. As the heart behind Bark and Bird Grooming, she sees into a pet's soul and into what it takes to turn customers into raving, tail-wagging fans. Excellence is her standard, loyalty is her legacy. Get ready to learn how she builds it, one wag and one woof at a time. Please welcome Linda.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
It's good to have you. We're glad you're here. Glad you're seated. I don't want you to have a clumsy episode and hurt yourself. It sounds like you're self-admitted clumsy a little bit.
Maybe I shouldn't have admitted that, but yes.
Well, I can be the same way. I tend to trip over things around the house all the time.
Yeah, well.
So that can happen.
I've got a lot of purple and blue all around me to prove that.
Well, first of all, shout out to Brian Decker, who's watching. Brian, hi. Thank you for watching the show. Tell us what you're looking forward to today, Linda.
I'm highly passionate about the customer experience. I have a 20-year background in the hospitality experience, and opening up a pet spa and being a part of that and be able to apply that same customer philosophy that I applied in humans to pets is absolutely amazing. And I love talking about it. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here. Let's bring in our second guest this morning. She can turn a full page of dots into a masterpiece, and once had a Disney moment so unforgettable it came with a wardrobe malfunction. Elizabeth Valencia Allen is all about memorable impressions. As the face behind Castle Hill's Neighbors, she's built a business around connection, creativity, and community, making her the perfect guide to turn customers and partners into lifelong fans. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning.
We are glad that you are here.
Absolutely.
First of all, what are you looking forward to today?
I love meeting incredible business owners throughout the community, and I'm always in the Plano area, in the Louisville area. And so just getting to meet new people and learning more about them and how they perceive making Raving fans is going to help me learn even more.
Well, I love being a community magazine editor and owner. I think that's going to be, I'm looking forward to hearing some of your insights as well, because you have a pulse on the community, and at least in that particular area. And I think that might be helpful for our other listeners in other kind of areas of Collin County to be able to have that same type of relationship. So last but certainly not least, let's bring in a special guest we have today. He once led a cross-country race straight off course, but Gary Carey knows that leadership is about more than just speed. It's about direction and trust. Whether he's banging on the drums or knocking on doors for Plano City Council, Gary brings rhythm, heart, and a real estate mindset that helps him serve others. Get ready for insights that hit all the right notes. Gary, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on this morning. It looks like you've got a great group of folks here.
Well, we're excited to be having this show and kind of wrapping up our topic for the month. We're going to get to you as we're going to talk about your run for city council in the next segment. So, guys, stick around as we go to our What's Up Plano segment next. We're going to highlight some of the things that you need to know that are happening in and around the great city of Plano. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cindy Durant with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
What's Up Plano, brought to you by Blue Mesa Grill in Plano. Known for their bold Southwestern flavors, legendary Sunday brunch, and some of the best margaritas around. Whether you're craving blue corn enchiladas, sweet potato chips, or just a laid-back vibe with friends, Blue Mesa always delivers. Before we jump in, a shout out to Lauren, shout out to Mina, shout out to Jada, Lucas Living, Best Version Media. I think that's the magazine at Lucas. It's kind of the partner of you, Elizabeth. Lots of viewers watching today. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for watching the show today. All right, let's jump in. A couple of things. We are hosting a veterans job fair. Any veteran in the Collin County area, really DFW area, is welcome to sign up. You can scan the QR code or you can reach out to one of us for the direct link. Scan the QR code. It's May 31st. Colonel Alan West will be out there. He'll be in attendance. Going to be a great way to not only showcase the American Legion in Plano where we're hosting that, but also get to meet some great business owners in and around Plano and serve our veterans as they so rightly deserve. That is the sign up for veterans. And then we have, if you're the business owner, we're looking for another 10 or 12 businesses at least. It's only $200, which is pretty low in terms of job fair market sign up. If you're a veteran-owned business, it's only $100. So make sure you get on that, screenshot this. If you have trouble with that, maybe it's too small or you're on your phone or something, comment here. We'll get you the direct link so you can get signed up as fast as possible. Also, normally we have our Business Development Alliance the fourth Wednesday of every month, which would be tomorrow. We will not be having it tomorrow. We're doing a venue change. We had it at 11 Warren, Texas. Great partnership with them. We love them so much. We'll probably be back there for something in the future, but trying to kind of find a center point in the Collin County area and still kind of in the Frisco, McKinney, and Plano heart. We found Blue Mesa, great partner. We're excited to be with them. That's going to be in May. So if you're planning on coming tomorrow, just find something else to do and put it on the calendar for May 28th, Wednesday, 11:30 to 1. We're going to have a great kickoff at our new venue, Blue Mesa in Plano. All right. So we have talked to the Parks and Recs department, and there's a lot of things I'd like us to know. For more on that,
Yeah, I had the pleasure of talking to Allison Brown, who's the recreation coordinator over at Oak Point. She wanted me to let everybody know that the Oak Point Rec Center is the pool's opening on Saturday, May 24th. They'll say open all the way through Labor Day, and they've got a wave pool, which is always a big hit. The hours of operation will be posted on the city website in June, so keep an eye out for that. She also wanted me to know that if you've got active kiddos, there's some that you need to get them out of the house this summer. You can check out the sports and adventure camps. They're full day camps running through June and July, except the 4th of July week. You can register online or you can stop by any rec center in Plano and sign up in person. It's super easy. Last, and what they were most excited about is there's a brand new class coming to the Oak Point Rec Center called HIT Fusion. It's a mix of high intensity interval training and dance. So it's taught by a new instructor called Di Williams. And the first session is going to be Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30, starting June 7th through July 12th. And then there'll be a second set of sessions July 26th through August 23rd. And it's about $65 for 5 classes for each session. So
I gotta start with lit before I can do hit, because I've been out of practice for a while. That's low intensity interval training. For those of you that don't know, then maybe I can get ready for that. We're supposed to be playing. Lennon and I are supposed to be playing a dodgeball tournament. I don't know if we're capable of that at this point. So we'll have to get back.
Capable of starting it. I don't know if I'm capable of finishing it.
I'm capable of getting out very quickly, which is sad. I'm trying to get back into my workout and get a little more flexible. So maybe this is a good way to do that. And I can say, Suzanna, I live right by that Oak Point, and that pool it's only 3 feet deep. So the wave pool, it's not like your typical wave pool where the waves are at the end of the pool. The waves come from the side. So you can walk through the whole pool. I think the maximum is only like 3.5, maybe. Yeah. But it's really cool how they do that technology, and so that's a family affair for us. 3 or 4 or 5 times throughout the summer. Have y'all been to wave pool? Right, everybody's been to wave pool.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess at some point, unless you have kids, you don't want to be the 50-year-old person in the wave pool by themselves. So it'd be weird. Well, very exciting. Thank you. We look forward to continuing to build our relationship with those guys. There's so much to do in and around Plano when it comes to Parks and Rec. Like Suzanna said, sign up at any rec center for those summer camp classes. Being close to we've done a number of classes for our kids, and they're usually very affordable and they're just fantastic. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that. Audra, a couple of other aquatic things that are happening in and around the Plano area, and then a few other details that you want to share with us.
Yeah, definitely. Just real quick, because I'm a mama, so I'm going to help all the parents out there. I'm not from Texas originally, so I didn't know that bluebonnets were such a thing and bluebonnet photos. So if you are looking for a spot, because now is the time, you can go to the Oak Point Nature Preserve that they were just discussing right there on Spring Creek Parkway. There are some great bluebonnets that you can grab a picture with your kiddos at. And also Parker Road near the entrance of Arbor Hills. That's over on my side of town. There are some bluebonnets there. And then Bluebonnet Trail at Custer Road near Jack Carter Dog Park are some places you can go real quick and grab those pictures with your kiddos. And then because it's Texas, as soon as it's spring, it's basically summer. It's a slippery slope, right? Very fast. At Windhaven Meadows Park in Plano, the splash pad is already open. If you're looking for somewhere to take your little ones on those warmer days that are sneaking in, they have a playground, they have restrooms, they have a pavilion if you have a party or if you just need to escape the sunshine. They have a dog park and walking path. So it's a few things to get out and do this spring/summer with your kiddos.
Well, thank you, Audra. I appreciate that. Again, lots of things to do in and around Plano. If you were listening on the show a couple months back, we were talking about the Plano Citizens Academy and Police Academy. And it's basically where citizens can go and learn about being a Plano citizen or Plano Police, basically kind of go through some, not the exact same training, but just kind of understand what the police go through, but also be an additional eyes and ears for police around the community, just kind of an additional resource, which is very helpful. The driving day, where you get to do the driving course, is really the big day for everyone. And so they set out, I think it's just actually, again, not far from where I live, about as far east Plano as you can possibly go. They set up this driving course. They've got the police RV out there. They've got all people ready to roll. They're having a good time. Got a couple pictures of some of the officers out there, just enjoying time, getting to really teach and educate the citizens, but also, basically producing a additional workforce in some sense. Like I mentioned, eyes and ears of the community. So you can ride a Segway, maybe. I don't know if that's part of the training or if this is just another guy doing that. So we've had a couple of our own take this class, or this class is about 12 weeks. And the next one, I think the sign up is going to be in August. So it's on Thursday nights, 7 to 10, and except for the driving course is going to be on Saturday. So if you want to find a way to give back more or be even more involved, stay tuned. We'll have, as we get closer to that, we'll have, hey, Tanisha, thanks for watching. We'll have some more details from Officer Babb as he joins us probably next month. Okay, well, as I mentioned, I teased Gary Carey, who is going to be running for city council. He is running for city council, I should say. Voting opened up today. You're going to be taking the place, the spot vacated by our good friend Shelby Williams, who's going to now run for Collin County. Remind me what he's running for.
Collin County Commissioner.
Commissioner, right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's place 5, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, place 5. And so first of all, give us the voting information. I know early voting opened today, but where's that? How long does that go through? And then when is the actual voting day?
Yeah, good question. So it opened up today at 8:00 at several different sites around the city. So it should be convenient. It goes till the 28th, I think, 29th. And then there's a brief break. And then May 3rd is election day. And so if you're going to vote, and I hope people do, right now is a good time to come out. There are no lines. All the sites are staffed very well. It's efficient. You can get in and out. You don't have to wait in line on Saturday, May 3rd, which probably will be pretty busy. So get out and vote. Get out and early vote. And it's open right now for the next 7 days.
Well, Gary, we've talked about this on previous shows, and we talked a little bit about it in the pre-show, how you get usually a big turnout for your November elections.
Right.
But your city elections that are typically in the spring, lower turnout, but they affect you. Your local politics affect you more in some cases, in a lot of cases, than even state or national. So specifically, why is it important for citizens to know who is running the school board, know who the mayor is, know who the city council are? What are the areas that those touch that really involve us on a day-to-day life?
Well, there are so many things. I mean, a lot of it starts with a budget and what we can or cannot fund due to those revenues. And so the different candidates have different approaches to what they think is important. And so, it's important to research these candidates and understand kind of where their priorities will lie so that you're voting for people that are going to align with what you want to happen in our city. I mean, Plano is the city of excellence. We've got wonderful things going on here. It's why so many people want to live here, but it's not without our challenges. And so it's great to have citizens involved. I mean, I personally love talking to the citizens about what's important to them. I mean, right now, the big thing, and I know most of the city council people that are serving today, their phones are ringing off the hook about, roads. And a lot of us would like the roads to get finished and take the cones down. So that's one big issue currently. And of course, a lot of people are concerned about their property taxes. And so I think, I personally suggest you vote for candidates that are fiscally conservative and know how to manage a budget so that we can keep our taxes as low as possible without giving up a bunch of services.
Yeah, and it's those things that we can immediately complain about that we don't seem to know who's controlling them or who has a say in it. And the great thing about Plano, and this is something always that we appreciate about Shelby, but I think it was the posture in general of Plano, is to always provide avenues for citizen feedback. They would always go in, set up lunch and learns or luncheons where people could come and voice. And obviously you have the city council meetings that are usually open to the public. But they've been Plano's been a great advocate for really listening to the people that they're leading, which of course we wish all our leaders would do, right? And so I hope that you continue in that same vein as you, if in fact you do get elected. Let's talk about values, because one of the things that is unique about Plano, and certain other cities do this, there's no party affiliation. Obviously, everyone has a party. I'm assuming we're not going to ask you yours, but there's no party affiliation within the city council. And I think that's unique because you get to run on values. You get to run on getting to know that. You have to do a little more digging. What does this person stand for? So what does Gary Carey stand for values wise? And what is your vision for Plano in the next 2, 3, 4 years if you are to get elected?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question. I mean, one of my values and one of my beliefs actually is that for a thriving city, there's a couple fundamental things that are important, and they're obvious, but one is to have safe cities. I mean, safety is a key to having a thriving city. Our schools are important, and while the city council doesn't directly control the schools, we have influence with the PISD. So schools are important, and when those start to fail, I've seen communities around the country start to suffer a little bit. And then we need a thriving job market. And so, as a city council, if I'm fortunate to get elected, one of the things I do is make sure that those are funded. But it will require some real keen analysis, because Plano's changing in terms of our revenue sources. And so we're going to need to make some changes in terms of how we fund all the things that we all moved here for. And it's one of the things I think I bring. But I think one of my other big values, and I did this for 4 years serving on planning and zoning, is being available to citizens. And you mentioned my good friend Shelby Williams, but he was great with that. And he really set the tone, I think, for all of us to say, make yourselves available to the citizens. And if elected, I serve everybody. The people that voted for me and the people that didn't, I believe, all have exactly the same voice at that point. And one of my values is to try to serve everybody in Plano, to make sure that, we continue to have the city that we all move to and what we cherish here with the City of Excellence.
Well, I want to ask you to cast a little vision in just a moment for where you see Plano going in the next decade or so. But before you do that, because we got about 4 minutes left here, I want to address a question. If you want to put that back up on the screen, Lennon, from Diane Castle, who's actually the person that participated in the Citizens Police Academy. She's talking about the bond vote for the new police station, right? Can you touch on that? Why that's important? Where that's at in the process? That's on the ballot for this coming election.
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, I can speak to it because I was appointed to the bond committee as well. Actually, I asked one of our city council members to put me on that because I wanted to do a deep dive into it. And one of the things I requested, and we took the whole committee out there. If the voters don't know, each city council person was able to put one person on that committee. And so here's the situation with the police station. It is outdated. It's been cobbled together, and looking through it, we really do need a new police station to allow our police officers to serve at that high level that they do. And so I think that building this new police station is an important element after serving we spent 4 months digging through these issues. And, I don't know that I would have been in favor of it until I got the tour. Chief Drain took us through everything over there, including taking us into some evidence rooms, which you can't usually get in. And so it's fascinating to look at the work they're doing. But also coupled with that is our 911, our emergency response center, which today is in the basement. And all of those things for a growing city. I think this is a good investment for us, although it is a significant investment. But I believe it will be an important element in keeping our city safe and attracting and retaining the police officers we need. We've got a little bit of a challenge right now with retention, as we've had some folks that have served for a long time, moving on. And so I think putting some resources behind a new police station will really support the police efforts that are so important to our city.
Well, I kind of think of the sports analogy in the sense where, a lot of times you'll recruit a college player because they go into the locker room and they go into the workout facility and they go into the field house and it's all cutting edge, state of the art. And, sports has its place. It's very important, but not as important as protecting and serving community. So as you're going to vote, think of it, because I'm in favor of it. I'll just come out and say it. I think we should look at it in that way. One, I think they deserve something new, but also we do want to attract people, not necessarily, not just from other departments, but just in general, people that want to grow up and become police officers because they have the best state-of-the-art facilities. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Plano, due to who we have been, we're able to attract the highest caliber of people. And so our challenge, our hurdles to get into this department are higher than most. Okay. Mm-hmm. But, while what you said, I completely agree with, I think it's also as much about efficiency and workflow. When you look at how this current station is cobbled together, it's not very efficient. And so I think we can bring some new technology into here. A lot of things that'll help our police continue to serve at the level they do. And by and large, I see Plano citizens pretty happy with the results they get from our police department. And you just go south a little bit, and I think the Dallas voters might not feel the same way about their police department. But I do think we need to invest in this, because I really do believe safety is a paramount issue, and having a city that's a thriving place that you want to raise your families in. So I'm in favor of this.
Well, Gary, I appreciate that very much. We're out of time, and we appreciate you for jumping on. I said you'd be out here right at noon, and I delivered. It's 12 o'clock right now.
Thanks for having me on. It's been fabulous. So thank you so much.
Our pleasure. When we come back, how to turn customers and partners into raving fans. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
How to turn customers and partners into raving fans, building loyalty that drives referrals and long-term success. You know, a lot of times we focus on getting new customers, and a lot of times that can be a very expensive way to grow. Sure, you want to know what your customer acquisition cost is, what that process is. But the idea is in this topic is taking the customers you have and turning them into fanatics, right? That just love you, your brand, what you stand for. Because when people love something, what do? They tell other people about it. Okay. And so when you start learning how to create these fans, you do that through creating loyalty. And from that becomes endless referrals that you're not having to go out, spend time and money all the time trying to get. So if you're listening, you guys, or you're here on the podcast today, you know, you're wondering why some brands have customers that no matter what they do, they just keep coming back. Hopefully we can dive into that and you can take away some things specifically that will help your business grow. Let's actually start right there, talking about a brand experience being unforgettable. Okay. Why do some people return to brands that they love, even when maybe a competitor offers better prices? What do you think that is? What do y'all think that happens?
There's an emotional connection. There's a vibe that they feel when they get there. They feel like they're part of something. It's more than just a transaction.
Yeah. What actual emotions do you think are involved there?
It's a
happy. No, go ahead.
I think it's a happy feeling when you have people who feel happy about an experience. The endorphins that are released absolutely imprints on the brain. And so you take and remember that. It's just like you're going back for that endorphin release.
I think trust is highly important. Very big. I think if they trust you, they know they're going to get a certain level of quality regardless of the price. They're not taking chances with their money. And I think that trying some new things sometimes is risky, and they're going to go back to where they know they're going to be satisfied every time.
Yeah. And I think, tell me what you guys think about this. What's the difference between customer service and an unforgettable brand experience? Because I think sometimes people create or conflate customer service with, building this emotional experience, and they're not the same thing. One is, well, I won't even try to tell you what I think. What do you think the difference is there?
Customer service is just that's the bare minimum. That's
right.
Just basic. Anything beyond that is part of the relationship. It doesn't just end at the end of the sale. You know about them. You know what they like. You know what makes them. You just know how to build that relationship with them. You know maybe some not personal details, but just some little details that you get to know about your customers.
Well, I think actually personal is right. I think personalization is key, right? Making people feel special. Like if I can have good customer service at Walmart if I ask the lady where something is and she helps me find it. And if I go to the cashier's polite and everybody's good and friendly. But I didn't have it's not like memorable. I'm not, people are shopping at Walmart anyways, but I'm not gonna be like, guys, you got to check out Walmart. It's amazing. Right. Yeah. First of all, they look at me like I had a third eye, but again, to your point, I think we've got to go deeper when it comes to creating a unforgettable experience. Okay. It's beyond their expectations. It shows them that you care before the transaction, during the transaction, after the transaction, right? You're not just there for the swipe of the credit card. So you kind of steered away from it, Suzanna, but I think personalization is key, making them feel special. What are some ways that we can do that in general, but more specifically, maybe some ways that you have done that in your businesses?
Well, for us, we're dealing with two customers. We're dealing with the pet, right? We want the pet to be happy. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to have those wagging tails when they come out and they're happy, right? That lets the parents know that that pup or that kitty had a great experience, but also understanding what their needs are and establishing that personal relationship with them. Yes, we get to know about what's going on with their lives. They get to know about us. They get to know our consumers, and they really do feel that emotional connection. For me, it's all of my clients have my personal cell phone number, and they know that they can text me anytime, that they can be in contact with me at any time. And just knowing that, again, it goes back to trust for me. A lot of it does. And them knowing that I love their pup as much as they do. And they feel it. They're not going to feel that at Petco or PetSmart or any of those big chains, but they feel that at Bark and Purr. And I'm really proud of that.
I would also like to add to that, addressing your clients by name when you see them, when they come in, is really big because you remember them. Service after the sale, when it's their birthday or anniversary with your business, if you do a handwritten card, to send that out, or if you're not doing that, an email, but it's really nurturing the relationship throughout the life of having them as a client. That's going to keep them coming back and have them talk about, oh, I love my, XYZ business because they care about me.
Audra?
Yeah, I think it's building those relationships. And that's why I love small businesses. And I'm a raving fan of small businesses, because I feel like if you're communicating why you open this business, if you're communicating what you stand for, compare it to your favorite cup of coffee. You might go into Starbucks and have a good customer service experience. They're nice. They wrote your name on the cup. They said, I like your shoes. But if I can find a local coffee shop that's owned by one of my neighbors that I know they give back to a local charity that I'm passionate about, I mean, I'm going to keep going back there, right? It's bigger than just the cup of coffee. So it can be that personal, that they cared about me and they took an interest in me, but also what are they doing? What do they stand for? And why did they start this? We don't always know that about the businesses that we, frequent. But when I know that about a business, I'm a raving fan of that business.
So, and I think we're touching on it. It goes to the authenticity, the personalization, and I want to actually get into it, because I've got some ideas for each of you guys that I've kind of put together. Maybe you're already doing some of these, but I want to run and by it as we get further into the segment. But just as a general rule, what are some mistakes that businesses make, you guys think, that prevents customers from becoming really a brand advocate or a raving fan?
Inconsistency with service. One day you go in and it's great and everything is fabulous, and then maybe the next time it's not quite as good. People want to see the same level of commitment to your service every time they go.
What else?
I would say not doing what you say you're going to do. If you make a promise and you don't deliver that, that's going to be something they remember. So make sure you do what you say you're going to do.
Quick shout out to Brian Podeska. Thanks for watching today. Brian's our host of our Frisco show, Thursdays at 2:30, every Thursday at 2:30. Yeah, I agree with you. But some of these kind of, to me, in my opinion, are drifting towards just kind of generalized customer service etiquette. I believe, and tell me if you guys disagree, that the biggest mistake people make is that when your customer walks out the door, that's kind of the last that they enter your mind.
Yeah,
right.
That's where transactional.
Yeah, and so y'all mentioned some ways to make sure that doesn't happen, right? But let's do two things. What's the impact of that mentality? And then what's the impact of actually having a plan and process into place that grows on that relationship? Because a lot of times the sale is the beginning of the relationship. Now, yeah, if they're a raving fan, they're coming back, they're a repeat customer, they're a brand advocate, you see them a lot. But in order to, there's always an initial interaction at some point. So how do y'all in your industries, and Elizabeth, yours is a little interesting because you're a magazine, a community magazine, but you still have readers, right? That's really your customers in a sense, as readers. And so for you, Suzanna, Linda, Audra, what do you guys do to make sure that you're not just kind of closing the door on the person once the sale, the transaction is made?
Well, for us, obviously using technology helps a lot, right? So having a good CRM so that we're constantly following up with them is important. We have schedules of touch points, right? We have regular touch points for the customer. I think Suzanna mentioned earlier, the birthdays, the anniversaries, things come up. Customers, we stay in touch really closely with them via text. We get phone calls when, unfortunately, pets pass away. They feel like we become part of their family because we're very integrated with them on a regular basis. If we notice a pup hasn't come around in a little while, we'll find out why. And so staying in touch with them, and it's almost like extended family, right? But staying in touch with them and communication with them that way is important. Social media is a great way to do it as well. I think it's about staying top of mind, right, for the customer and letting them know that you showcase them and that they're important to you.
And I would like to add, my business is unique. Yes, my readers are my clients, but also my sponsors who make the magazine possible. So it's about bringing people together. I like to do community events. When I do community events, I look for the local businesses that are my sponsors to try to have the event at their place of business to continue that relationship throughout. and introduce the community to that business. So it's more of a touch point on both sides to let them know that it's more than just a magazine. It's a part of the community, a voice in the community.
This is one reason I wanted to bring Elizabeth on today. I don't know if our listeners are aware, but I also write content for the community magazine that Elizabeth is a publisher for. And she is such an amazing publisher. She wants to partner with me and bring the most amazing content to this community, but she's a raving fan of all of the sponsors. So I think this is an area that she just excels in and can speak to so well that those sponsors in our magazine, she wants to highlight them. She wants to showcase those businesses and how they stand out. And she is a raving fan. She's eating at those restaurants. She's hosting events there. So I love that you said that, Elizabeth.
You make me think about this, Elizabeth. Do you guys have any type of like an ambassador program where you have specific people, like, I don't know if it's a higher subscription, whatever, but they, based on their level or whatever, I don't know what you'd call it, they kind of become a brand ambassador where they're referring contributors or referring stories, and maybe they get a discount or something like that. Do you have anything like that?
I do. They're expert contributors. We look for one expert from each industry, and so we give them a voice in the community. And go ahead.
No, I was going to, no, finish what you're saying, because that's going to transition right into my next question. So go ahead.
Absolutely. And what Audra was saying, I really try to focus on the community as well. So this summer, I have a young man in the 7th grade who is writing for the magazine, and I want him to have a voice in the community. He just had his first article in May. I think when you have a community magazine, just like your podcast is for the community of Plano, when you do that, when you involve the community, it's a much stronger relationship, and it gives them the opportunity to be a raving fan of loving that publication, of loving their community, and looking forward to who else is going to contribute. So it's not about me, it's about the community.
Well, you bring up a good point in that this is something we could all take into account. Is sometimes we try to build our presence solely around what we do. And if you build your presence around the community, you're going to be seen even if people don't need necessarily what you do, right? So the question really is, how do I build an experience or interest even if somebody doesn't need what I do yet, right? And that's something that I think that's very important. Lennon always tells the story of I don't agree with him on this, but he's not a huge fan of the Chick-fil-A sandwich. Now they're not healthy. I'll just leave you at that. But he doesn't like the Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's fine. But he loves Chick-fil-A. Why is that? Because he loves their values. He loves what they stand for. He loves how if he does have to go and get something at Chick-fil-A, he's in and out in no time because of the culture that they've passed down. And that, if you sit in a line at Chick-fil-A, that is an experience. That's not your typical drive-through line. Like, it's incredibly, part of it's customer service, but it's customer service on steroids. It's not the minimum like Suzanna was talking about. So I think that's an interesting way to see. Are we generating that type of experience even for people that don't necessarily, like, I don't have any pets right now. Maybe we will at some point, but I would love to see what Suzanna and what Linda are doing in the community and realize, okay, what a great part. Maybe there's other ways of partnerships at that point, right? And we talk about partnerships as one of our talking points here around building fans, because other businesses can be your fans as well. To what you were saying, Elizabeth, and this is what I want to, referrals that we try to go kind of build ourselves. They can be costly. They can be time consuming. There's a time for them, obviously. But what if we could create a way that referrals are kind of part of the journey for our fans, right? You reward them through referring people. You reward them through, in your case, bringing new sponsors, et cetera. I think Dropbox did this initially when they first came out. They were providing extra storage when you referred somebody to Dropbox, right? Little things like that, an extra grooming, a free bag of dog food, whatever that looks like, Are you guys doing those things, or what does that kind of percolate in the mind as far as some opportunities?
Actually, we do exactly that. So we have cards that we give our customers when they have that raving experience and they're talking to us about how great, how much they love us. A lot of our parents have multiple pets, so it gets pretty expensive grooming a lot of pups, right? So we share the card and let them know that every 5 referrals gives them this, and every 4 referrals give them that, and it really does work because they love us, so they feel good about referring us. At the same time, it's allowing them to save money and to come more. So we've been very effective at that.
Well, go ahead.
No, it's just that we do the same thing. That's actually how Linda and I met, through trying to network and creating a partnership. I will let my clients know that if they're looking for groomers, because that is not a perk that we do offer. We have stellar daycare and boarding, but grooming is not something you can get with us. So I always let them know that if you go to Bark and Purr and mention us, there's a discount involved with that. And I feel good about referring my clients to them because I know I've seen the pictures, I know the reviews, all of that. We also have a system in place. She was talking about CRMs. That actually asks our clients to give us reviews, good, bad, and ugly. Tell me what you thought of this so that we know what we need to do to make it better next time, or even up it from, but there's always room to improve.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a great way to wrap up the segment. We're going to actually officially wrap it up with what we call What's the Difference? So, Lennon, if you'll hit the sounder.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
What's the difference? Where we ask a question, what is the difference between two things? And you give a quick 20-second less answer. If you ramble, we're going to buzz you, but just don't feel bad. It's all in good fun and love, so don't get offended. Give us the buzzer, Lennon, just so we know. We haven't had to use it in a while, but we have it ready just in case. Do we have it, Lyndon? Maybe not. We can't find the buzzer. We lost the buzzer. You guys are in good shape. Don't worry about it. All right. I'm going to ask a couple of questions first, and then we have 3 questions. I'm going to ask one to Elizabeth, one to Lyndon, and then I'll do a toss-up between Suzanne and Audra. Okay, question number 1 for Linda. And this is really a wrap-up of the topic that we've just talked about for those of you that are listening. What is the difference between a customer and a raving fan?
A raving fan is loyal. Comes back time after time and refers you and has built this personal relationship with you to where they feel comfortable enough to ask you for whatever they need. They're honest with their feedback, whether it's good or it's bad, because they really want you to be better. And you're not always going to be perfect. So when you're not, a raving fan's going to let you know personally, not in a review, of where you need to improve so that you can continue to be successful.
And then, so what is just a customer then?
A customer is someone who just comes in, right? Day-to-day interaction. You're always going to provide a certain level of service for this customer, but they're not invested in you, right? A raving fan is really invested in you, your service, and your product.
And it's because you're invested in them. It's really
absolutely. They feel that connection.
A great example of this is, and I don't go to Starbucks much anymore, but you go to buy a Starbucks coffee, as a customer transaction, great, good customer service. But if you own a Starbucks Gold Card, you follow their seasonal drinks. You buy the little commemorative cups they put out every Christmas and Halloween and whatnot, and you're checking their posts and you're visiting their social media site. Man, that is a raving fan. So, great job, Linda. Question 2 for Elizabeth. What's the difference between, we talked about this earlier, what's the difference between customer service and customer experience?
Customer service is something every business does. They just thank you for your service, thank you for coming in, that sort of thing. And a customer experience is how you make them feel when they come into your, or utilize your service or come into your business. And it's the service after the sale, is making sure that they feel appreciated and not just a swipe of a business card.
Yeah, put it in a different way. Customer service kind of just solves problems. Oh, I need a new I was about to say DVD player. Nobody needs a DVD player anymore. I need a new. How old am I? Jeez. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind.
At least you didn't say VCR.
That's true. I need a new Betamax. I got to go in there and get that. No.
You still use a fax machine?
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
Okay, well, just checking.
I need a new computer, right? You go in there, you get the computer. They helped you out. That's great. Customer experience creates moments that they never forget, right? Customer service is reactive, kind of fixing issues as they arise. Customer experience is proactive, designing an interaction that's going to create that moment, that delight that keeps people coming back for more. Here's a good example that we kind of came up with. Customer service is responding to a complaint with a refund. That's good customer service. Customer experience is when a hotel surprises a guest with a personalized welcome gift based on their past visits. First of all, they know this is a repeat customer. And two, we want to thank them in a more detailed and special way for their patronage time and time again. All right, last question here. What's the difference between being a referral partner and a brand ambassador? Suzanna or Audra, whoever hops in.
Referral partner is Linda and I. We're partners. We refer each other. We have a relationship. We know what the other one has to offer. We can, so we're constantly working together. The brand ambassador is somebody who really believes in you, which I guess that wasn't a good example because I do believe it.
I was about to say, you don't believe it. Y'all don't believe in each other. As I'm hearing you talk, I'm like, I think you're a brand ambassador also.
We're partners and ambassadors. We've partnered with each other to help promote each other's business, but we're also fans of what each other is doing. So I guess that in essence, we are both.
A brand ambassador can still refer.
Right.
But I think referral partner is like when someone asks, "Oh, do you know any good pet daycare or pet spa?" "Oh yeah, I do. You talk to Suzanna." "Okay, great." But if I'm not talking about Suzanna any other time, it doesn't make you bad. It's just I haven't had that connection. So,
right. And ambassadors take initiative.
Yes.
They go out of their way to tell you.
Yes.
They think of somebody in their life that needs your service and they go reach out and they do that. And a referral partner, they'll send someone your way if it's convenient. They don't have ill will, but they're not taking that initiative.
One thing to add to that, Audra, is a true brand ambassador. When you're working, number one, you need to be a brand ambassador of each other, right? It's not, brand ambassadorship is not a one-sided deal. Right. So you have a strategy. It's not off the cuff. It's not winging it. Here's what we're going to do, Audra. I'm going to do this for you on this date, this date, this date, this date, social media, all the things. You come back with a strategy for me, and we have that planned out and organized, and we stay consistent to it. A brand ambassador is consistent.
Yeah.
A referral partner is not.
Win-win there, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, that's how you measure the value of the relationship. Because if I'm only sending you referrals are never equitably reciprocal. They never are. Somebody's going to send more one month, somebody's going to send more the next month. But you and I can put in the same amount of effort in trying to help each other grow outside of referrals, and that's trackable and measurable.
That's a great example and a great point.
We're going to go to commercial in just a second, but we actually talk about that a lot. We tend to measure partnership success oftentimes in referrals, and there's so many other metrics like Linda was just talking about where you can build business together and help each other and be invested in each other. And it's a brand ambassador in a sense is not looking, they're not necessarily looking for a return. They either already got something that they're passionate about and that's why they want to spread the word, or they're doing it to give to give, right? Which usually does come back on you in a positive way. But I think it's important just to try to step outside of just the traditional referral. Referral is not the only indicator of a great partnership and a brand ambassador. Okay, when we come back, we want to hear an exciting story about something that happened to Elizabeth at Disney World. And after we embarrass her a little bit, we're going to get to know her a little bit more on a deeper level, as well as Linda. Stick around. We'll do our guest deep dive on the other side of this break.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC,
Our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
Welcome back as we go into our final segment. Today, we're going to dive in with our guests, get to know them a little bit better. In the intro, teased about a story for Elizabeth, a wardrobe malfunction, we'll call it, at Disney World. And just probably people are wondering, well, can you give us any more about that? So I know you gave me the whole story in the guest booking form, but just share. It sounds like a little funny mishap. Tell us about that.
When you go to Disney, the number one thing that you need to have is a belt.
They don't tell you that in the guidebook.
They don't tell you that. No, I was able to go on a family trip, and we had young nieces and nephews, and I had my little nephew with me, and I was carrying his little sister with me. And if you've ever had a child have a tantrum in public, it happens. And he was very afraid of the character Goofy. And so when they're walking around or what have you, when he sees Goofy, it is a freak out moment for him, and he's in full meltdown mode. I had my purse, I had his food, I had his little sister, and he's trying to get me to pick him up to save him from Goofy. I didn't have an extra hand. So he was tugging and pulling and tugging and pulling until he pulled my pants down on me because I didn't have on a belt. And we were in a small world. So that was my most embarrassing moment, I would think.
A big memory in a small world. So yeah. That's,
yes.
All right, so wear a belt. That's good to know. Okay. How long was this? Fairly recently? How long ago was it?
No, it's been about 11 years.
11 years. Okay. Awesome. Well, Linda, you said in your guest bio that you feel like you can see into the soul of an animal. How does that work?
I just connect. I get down to their level and I look in their eyes and we just connect. They calm down and they calm me down. So it's a mutual experience, but I feel what they feel. And a lot of people think that animals can't communicate or that you can't tell when they're happy or when they're sad or when they're in pain.
But you definitely can. They absolutely, yeah.
And I have a deep sense of empathy and feeling for them that I think definitely comes across to them. But I feel their pain. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's good. I think there definitely are people that are more in tuned with animals, especially. I think you can kind of learn that too. The longer you're around them, I think you could probably pick up on some things too.
Well, it's really about energy.
Yeah.
Your energy, and you either have it or you don't. And yes, you can learn some things, but you either have that energy that they are attracted to or you don't. At least
Well, that's the same. That's the same with people. There's people that are just kind of empath, or just very attuned with other people's emotions, and kind of, feel kind of where they're at in certain areas, and just have this calming sense about them, which is actually, we probably need more of those type of people in the world, to be honest with you. So, well, I want to start off, kind of lighthearted a little bit there, but just talk. I'll start with you, Elizabeth. Where was the defining point in your life, if there was one, that really shaped who you are, and then kind of led you into wanting to be this community beacon, in a sense, in the publication space, the magazine space?
I would have to say it stemmed from a lot of loss. I was actually in the hospital when I decided that I wanted to take and pursue this, because I was in some other businesses, a serial entrepreneur, and my background is marketing and advertising. When I had a lot of loss in my family and just started having to bury people and was in the hospital, I'm like, what can I do, that I can do remotely? So I was in a point where I was having to learn to rewalk again and all of that from a brown recluse spider bite. And then I found Best Version Media. And when I looked into what they did, it was just everything I believed in. I very much believe in connecting people, very much believe in community. And I think that's anywhere you are. And one of the things that really resonated with me is the hyper-local reach. Hyper-local is where you are, where you want to be, your community. When you think local, that's regional, and so I loved what they stood for and what they did, and just absolutely wanted to be a part of it. So that's how I pivoted.
You talk about experiencing some loss, and then some personal elements. A spider bite of pet magnitude will certainly do that to you. Do you feel like, in going in this route, that you experience loss? Obviously, there's kind of a loneliness to that. Do you feel like you were then directed to, well, I want to create community so that other people, don't have to, even if they are experiencing loss, they don't have to feel this way, or they have something? Because lack of community is a really big problem in our world today, unfortunately. As connected as we
so
disconnected, right?
I think so, because I know for me, I'm really big on making everything I do about the community, from my sponsors to the readers. I'm very intentional on what I do. I'm very proud of the publication we produce. I have an amazing, amazing team, and that's my community. Without my team, I absolutely couldn't produce what I have.
Well, Linda, same question to you. Did you have a pivotal moment in life, or just something that happened that you say, this is, I'm assuming you grew up with pets, grew up with animals, right?
Actually, I didn't.
You didn't? Okay, so how did that happen? So walk us through.
I still don't have a dog. So
really?
That
is shocking. I'm going to be.
Well, but I have like literally 1,000 dogs that I look after.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah, that's where my love goes.
So you need a break when you go home.
Well, I don't have time for my own, because I'm taking care of everybody else's.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Very similar to Elizabeth. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've retired twice and realized that I can't. And so I had an opportunity to help out with this pet business, Bark and Purr Grooming, not as an owner, but as a consultant. And when I got in there and I started making all these changes and establishing relationships with the parents and the pets and building those connections, I saw that I was making a difference. I was making people's lives better. Anxiety is huge in pets, and anxiety is huge in people. And so we think that by, buying a dog or bringing a dog in, that it's going to help our anxiety. Well, guess what? We're hurting the dog with our anxiety instead. And so I saw that. And then I found an opportunity to be able to help parents connect better with their pups, and vice versa, to where I was helping ease anxiety on both sides and creating not just a positive experience and anxiety-free adventure. We've actually have our own, we call it Tranquil Tales in the shop. We're a spa. We're not a pet grooming salon. And so the pups are happy with us and they're calm, but I also need to teach the parents how to be calm and not be anxious and how to be with them at home. And so when I saw that I was making a difference and I had an opportunity to actually buy the shop, I couldn't pass it up. And so I came out of retirement, and then this is my passion project. I want to do this until I can't work anymore. I want to expand my brand in the shop so that we can make an impact throughout the Metroplex, maybe the nation. I don't know. We'll see where it takes us, but I firmly believe in it. And the other half of this is that as a serial entrepreneur, I've been an advocate for minority and women-owned businesses the last 10 years. And so this model that I have at Bark and Purr is allowing me to take my clients who are passionate about pets and bringing them on board as partners and opening shops and helping women be financially independent. My business partner, Dora, at this shop was my client. And our conversation started with her saying, gosh, girl, this is awesome. I wish someday I could own a shop like this. And when it opened up, I called her and I said, hey, are you ready? Literally within 4 months after that meet, we bought the shop together. And so someday she'll be able to own it on her own. And I'll, continue to have other women and help other women open up their own Bark and Purr shop. So,
well, it sounds like that.
There, but it really, I'm just highly passionate about it.
It sounds like you're using your passion then to kind of give other people an opportunity to kind of step out of the corporate world and step into entrepreneurism, which I think is a big community impact. Teaching people how to own a business can be very freeing and very financially lucrative if it's done right. And so I think you're making a big community impact in that regard. So we've got about 4 minutes left. So Audra, I'm going to give you exactly 35 seconds to say some great things about Elizabeth, and just kind of let her, instead of talking about herself, or have somebody else talk about her in front of her, which is nice, not behind her, in front of her.
Yes.
We all wish would happen.
Elizabeth's so great. I was writing content for this magazine for the last 2.5 years, and Elizabeth has been the publisher for just a few months now. And her vision and new life that she has breathed into this magazine has been amazing. She is giving businesses great shout outs and highlights, and she just wants to champion everyone. Like she said, the 7th grader writing his first article that's being published, that's not a paid job. That's just to say, look at these young, talented kids that we have right here in our community, and let's give them an opportunity. Yeah. She's all about just shining that light on everyone else. And like we say here at The Difference, that comes back to you tenfold. So I wish her well. And I love that I get the opportunity to work with her as well.
Well, Suzanna, what do you want to share with us about Linda? You're on mute, Suzanna. You're muted. Suzanna, you're muted. Oh, it looked like it was going to be great things, though.
Sorry, it is. Just what she shared about herself is what I have been attracted to by her. We are a woman-owned, women-led business. Also, myself and my daughter is the general manager. So we have that same mindset. The passion for animals is definitely there. I see that in her, and so it's just she's magnetic. She's somebody that you find yourself attracted to, and you just want to hop on board that train she's riding on it and keep going.
Well, Linda and Elizabeth, it's been a pleasure meeting both of you guys. Elizabeth, give us 10 seconds on how to get in contact with you if we want to.
214-336-4098. Love to have a conversation with you, kind of explore what you do, because if anything else, I would love to be your referral partner.
Linda?
Same thing, phone number 972-345-5671. Text me anytime. I love helping entrepreneurs. My background, operational efficiencies and marketing. If I can ever help you, just a lunch, I'm glad to do it.
Well, guys, it has been a pleasure this month with this topic, but in general, hosting this show for the past 1.5 years, and look forward to the next season of The Difference. You guys are in good hands, Community Difference Plano. That is all for us today. Have a blessed week. We'll see you guys in May. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services. Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified. Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts. Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health. Cindy Durance with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance. And by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.